Hey everybody, this is Glidercat and it's time to play. We're back in Evospace. Let's get back to it. Welcome to my new power plant. This is the start of our new coal power plant. This thing's going to be pretty darn huge. And it took a while just to build this because I'm building this out with the steel materials. And I don't have steel automated. I'll show you what I do have in a minute for steel. Kind of semi-automated, but it's very, very temporary. But I wanted to get this this initial power plant going just so I don't have to manually move coal around to keep our other factories powered. So let me show you how this is kind of laid out. Down below, and it's not complete by any means. Down below, I've got like some temporary power generation that I was using coal, or I was using, coal or coke. And here, this is all no longer needed. So we'll rip that up in a bit. Is there anything useful down here? That is our main power line kind of coming down. And it's feeding from below our ore miner that we just saw. So there's an ore miner there. There's an ore miner there. That one's only got one motor attached to it. So look at those. Yeah, right now, 2 mining drills. Just doing coal, sending them up. This platform is going to be pretty much loaded with mining drills. The coal deposit ends somewhere around here. And I'm not sure how far it ends out in the other direction. Let's drop a mining drill and see if we can tell. I have one in here. Yeah, this guy. See if this still has coal. It does. So I can go out even further that way, and I probably will. My goal is to have this thing pretty darn huge. So first floor here is all going to be mining drills. I need to get lights and everything set up. That's all stuff I'll probably do between episodes. It takes a lot of time. This floor, we're converting the coal into coke. So I've got 2 of these, what do they call these things? 2 steel ovens. And again, everything in this particular power plant, I'm going to try and stick with the steel tier. But there's the coal coming up from below. Goes into those 2 ovens for now. This will scale out. We'll have a ton of them. And we're going to have lots and lots of floors. These guys are producing coke. That coke comes out onto this belt. Makes its way up to the next level. And then these ovens also produce creosote. That also gets put into a pipe. Just attach some pumps to the side. You can put these pumps wherever you want. I've seen people do them on top. I think I've done them on top before, but I kind of like the smoke not to be hindered with this thing, with this pump. But yeah, 2 pumps. They're just feeding into a pipe, and that goes up to the next floor as well. This will all scale out pretty significantly. And there's our power main going back down. And then we've got... yeah, a creosote pipe going up. We've got water from the water way down below. We're sitting on top of water. And in fact, the whole world has water. If you dig down just a little bit below the surface, you'll hit water. The water's going up, and then our coke is going up. Let's go to the next floor. This floor, like I said, there'll be a whole bunch of floors that repeat just like this. And this is going to scale up pretty huge, even on that single floor. And then here's where we're generating the power. So that is our creosote gas kind of coming up. That is being fed into a steel fluid furnace. All that does is generates heat, burns that kind of byproduct of making coke, turns it into heat, and goes onto some heat pipes. Then I've got boilers up here. You can kind of see the temperature gauge. Right now it's oscillating because it goes up and then comes back down, then it'll go way up, then come back down, just based in the production cycle of the coke ovens down below. But we're going to scale this all up, so these are going to be always full on hot. So 2 heat pipes there, 1 guy burning creosote. We don't have that much coming up yet. We can always scale that out if we get more. And then here is the actual coke coming up. That's just getting burned in regular furnaces, heat pipes, and 2 more boilers. Here's that water pipe I mentioned coming up from way down below. That feeds into the back of these boilers, provide water. And the steam pipes come out up top out of the boilers. That is hot steam coming out. Boom, comes down and feeds this guy, a turbine. Steel steam turbine. Its usage is at 100%. Energy consumption is 6. And energy production is 5.4. So I'm guessing that means we're a little light on power. So I'm guessing this thing's going full speed. And then that's just hooked up to a steel generator to actually generate our power. And that power line, boom, goes all the way across. I can't jump over these pipes. And that becomes like the main power main for the building. That's kind of how that is going to go. We'll scale out all of these existing floors, and then there's going to be a whole bunch more floors that repeat this thing. Energy generation here. There'll be a lot of different floors with that, and alternating with floors that are actually producing this coke and the creosote gas or whatever. And the first floor will just be the mining drills. What I might do, yeah, and there's the power coming back down, and then I have the power on this floor. It's coming across. Actually, that should probably be a little bit higher up. That's our power main coming up, down, and I actually run a power cable all the way over to our copper plant. Take a look at that in a second. Down here, down below. We saw that on this platform where the mining drills are, there's still coal. But having mining drills sitting on a platform that doesn't have anything underneath it doesn't look so great to me. So what I might do, where the mining drills are, there's a mining drill. You can tell it's right above us. What I might end up doing, just for aesthetics, and for fun and for immersion, is taking these copper casings or something and just putting pillars down right underneath the center of those mining drills. So there's at least an illusion that that drill is not just mining coal from the air underneath it, that it's actually got a drill bit that's going down into the ground. So I may do something like that. And all this stuff on this floor right now was temporary. I don't need any of this anymore. So we'll clean that up in a bit. And then I'm powering these mining drills with steel motors or steel electric engines and using electricity. That has been my kind of long-term goal, just to power everything off of electricity. We're starting to do that. Let's go look at the copper factory. I've started to electrolyze or electrify this factory. There's the power coming in. It goes down and it goes up. Underneath here, instead of having all these heat pipes and doing it with the coal, that's all no longer needed. All this is going to go. I've got the electricity coming through here. I'll have to put lights down here. And same kind of thing, feeding steel electric engines. Those are feeding our copper drills. Most of the copper factory, or this copper factory, need to work on, placing more doors and things after run around the building like this. But this factory is all kind of copper tier. So copper tier drills, copper tier belts, all that kind of stuff. Do have to use steel for these electric engines. I don't think there is a copper tier equivalent. I think I have 8 of these wired up. Those 4 are set up. These 2 middle rows of 4 each are not hooked up to anything yet. So all needs to be converted over to using electricity. We might get to some of that this episode, we'll see. But then I've got these 4 going too. If we go up, these are just we're measuring blocks. That's all this is, so that can go. It's just me planning out where my windows were going to go and stuff and trying to make it symmetric. Pull these up and then we'll make our way upstairs and see what else is going on. I should mention this little area is disconnected. This is where I was making copper ingots just for handcrafting purposes. I need to get this reestablished. or find another solution for this. So I'd like to have automated pipes and wires put into these storages somewhere. And those are both going to be made out of copper, and I think we can stick with copper for the long term on those. So those are two things I'd like to kind of have automated, plus, you know, having a stash of these ingots. So we'll see. That's on the to-do list. We might do some of that this episode or next episode. If we go on up from the mining floor, this is where we're doing the smelting. This was powered temporarily with some wood. I think I was bringing wood over. This is going to be a little bit more of what it's going to look like long term. I've got power coming up over here. Boom. In fact, we should look downstairs real quick. Show you. Here's our power coming in from the power plant. It was down to feed the mining drills, and then comes up across, kind of pokes through the ceiling down here, and that's what's powering these guys. And these are steel electric furnaces. They're producing heat from electricity. Then we just slap on our smelters on top of those. Copper goes into the smelters, then it comes across and it makes its way out of here. Oh yeah, I have a storage here in case this does back up. It's not going to back up for a while. This copper factory, obviously we need to scale this up, right? We've got 4 lines of copper here that we're not using yet. So this can scale up pretty significantly. We'll need more electricity to do it. And then the top floor is nothing. We'll see. Maybe another smelting floor. We'll see. All right, let's go over to where all this copper's going, the circuits factory. So we completed that last episode. Between episodes, I went through all of the research, and any research I could do that required just the regular circuits, the basic ones like this guy, I completed. So everything I can research is done on both the decorations tab and the productions tab. So our next big challenge is going to be the advanced circuits, but that's going to be a little while from now before we get to those, I think. Here's where we're making the circuits. This factory is not yet electrified, but I did make a couple changes. You'll remember this is all still using heat pipes. We've got to change this over to electricity. But if you look up top, there is some wiring going on here in the ceiling. So there's electricity that comes down from above, then traverses this ceiling here, and then pops back up. Go and see what that's all about. Where we're actually making the circuits. Here is our temporary power generation. You remember, we're just using some excess planks that we that we have, feeding them into furnaces, converting that into electricity, and then we're using that electricity to power some computers. The computers were chewing up the basic circuits here. All that research is done, so they don't have anything to do. But that electricity, where is it? That's where it comes down to the floor underneath. Then I just pop that power back up by our assemblers here. Comes back up from underground and feeds these assemblers power. Eventually we'll convert this over to a more permanent electric power supply. These guys are working away on circuits. So our little fix for these belts, I think they're all working now. Is this guy stuck? On here. Oh, this guy's just waiting to be loaded. The fact that it's actually moving tells me this is working. Be working. Oh, looks like we're weak on wire coming through. Not a huge deal. So we need to get more copper coming into this factory. Not a big deal. We'll scale it up. I think everybody is actually working, yeah. Slowly. The power's not great over here. So that's something we got to improve. But the basic circuits are coming through, and then I added a couple storage racks just so that we can start banking these guys up while we're doing other things. Got a storage rack here that's fed by a belt. And then I just have 2 inserters pulling out, putting it onto another belt. A graphical glitch there. Back into another storage. and then 2 inserters pulling out, putting it on this belt. We're basically accumulating a bunch of basic circuits. We've got 443. We'll see what we do with those. But as in this playthrough, I'm doing a lot of building, and the building takes a long time. Not too worried about production rates, because we're just going to store up a ton of stuff. We'll see later if we need to ramp up, and we're going to ramp up for sure. I've got 2 floors on this building that don't do anything yet, so we'll see. One option, or one thing I was kind of considering, is seeing if I could power this building, have it be like self-contained. Maybe put greenhouses up top, or those little forestry things. I forget what they call them. Where are they? These guys, automatic farms. Maybe automatic farms on the top floor to produce wood, and then burn that wood down maybe here, create electricity out of it, and then just see if the building can be like self-contained with its own power rather than running a cable from our power plant. Just for fun. Just for fun, to try something different. We might do that. Like I said, we've got a couple extra floors there. This factory, I think, is just always going to be circuits. I don't think we'll scale it up. I do have more work to do. I want to run these pipes underground, the water pipes for the automatic farms that we have already. And then we do need to electrify that second floor and make it better. What else? Let me show you the temporary stuff we've got going on. We've got a temporary coal operation here that we can get rid of. And I augmented this to produce some coke. I was using that coke to feed our other temporary platform that's making the steel for us right now. This guy is set up to make coke. Grab this little stack. And it's kind of a it's kind of a silly mess here. So we've got the oven here turning coal into coke. It's going to produce that byproduct gas. The creosote, I think, is that what it's called? And so I'm burning that in a fluid burner, and then I got to do something with that heat. So I'm sending that heat all the way across here and just having it feed a Stirling engine. So I took out a furnace that we had sitting there and just put heat pipes in. So that one's almost never going to run because we don't get much creosote. All of this is temporary. This was feeding our copper factory. We don't even need any of this anymore. This is all going to come out and be cleaned up. And I'll just backfill it with dirt or something. May still pave under here and maybe put lights or even go a level. I can't really go much deeper because we're going to hit water. Bit of a drag. But yeah, all this can be cleaned up. And we need to get this copper factory fully electrified too. There's more wiring to do underneath. That's going to go. That's all coal and coke production. Then over here, this we started a few episodes ago with just a mining drill basically for iron. And I've kind of beefed this up because I wanted to use the steel tier for our power plant. So I set up some ad hoc steel production. This is just, the mining drill is being manually fed with coal. Right? Run it through a furnace, generate some heat, feed a Stirling engine, and mine some iron. What's going on there? Iron comes out, gets smelted. It's manually being fed with coal to provide heat for that furnace that's making or the smelter that's making our iron. Iron gets deposited in this chest. Then gets sent down here into copper blast furnace. This is where we're going to make our steel. And then I've got a little manual storage container here where I've been dumping coke. That'll feed the coke in. This copper blast furnace produces steel, and steel gets loaded into here. Ooh, we got quite a bit in there. Take that with us. This is all temporary. All gotta go. But I do need this steel right now. I still need this steel. So we're gonna have to limp this along. I don't want to invest in automating this because this is not where I want my steel factory. It's too close to everything else. So we're gonna just abandon this iron deposit before long. What's this mess that I haven't explained yet? This mess, I've got a steel separator, and you feed this with sand and you get silicon oxide. Why do I want silicon oxide? I want silicon oxide so I can feed it into this guy, steel electrolyzer. I put in my silicon oxide, boom, and this thing will slowly produce silicon. Okay, why the heck do I want silicon? I want silicon so I can make... where is it? This guy right here, scanner. So, make a couple. I'm not going to make them just because I don't want to use my inventory space right now. It's already getting pretty full. So that makes the ore scanners. These give you, I think, like 2 scans. What do those scans do? They allow me to go explore the map. If I go walking somewhere, and I did, I went walking way over by this iron ore deposit, because that's where I'm thinking of actually doing our new iron factory. We're right here in the middle of the map. There's iron right there, but it's so close to our other factories that I don't want everything jammed together. I want to spread out. So this iron deposit was on the map down here. But I know that once we start making iron, we're going to want to make steel. Steel takes the coke. Coke requires coal. So I was hoping to find an iron deposit on the map that was near a coal deposit. So I went out with my little scanner and I scanned around a couple places and didn't find what I wanted. Then I walked over by this iron ore mine and I walked off to the left, hit my scanner, and boom, we found a new coal deposit. This is going to be the location of our iron mines and steel production. And there's a whole bunch involved in kind of doing that right. Let me fix the daylight and lock that in. Boom. We head over there. Yeah, it's straight down this way. Yeah, that is just right on top of the copper factory, that iron deposit. So we're gonna probably abandon that. Way out here, somewhere, up high, we got a pretty big hill here. Look at the map. Not there yet. Somewhere right around here. There's a great big iron deposit. That's where we're going to be doing our iron and our steel production. And this is going to be probably a pretty massive factory. And then we'll do more coke production just for steel use, I think. A little bit further away, kind of over here. Maybe that won't be quite as big as our power plant's going to be. That's kind of the next, or one of the next things we want to work on. Excuse me. Yeah, we want to get rid of this temporary coal setup. We're almost able to do that. I want to get to producing a little bit more coke over at the power plant. Rarely. The last thing we need to do, or the other thing on my mind, I should say, as far as big projects, these buildings take a lot of bricks. And my little temporary setup here that is being manually fed wood for fuel cannot keep up with all the bricks that I need. So maybe next on the list, even before we do the iron, is I'd like to set up a much bigger scale factory for building materials. And I'm probably going to push it back into this area somewhere on top of all this rock. That's what we're going to be mining, is rock. Maybe back this way or something, we'll build a pretty big factory and see if we can't produce many, if not all, of these building materials here. Clay is a little tougher, I think, to get a byproduct. But a lot of these different brick tiles, it'd be nice to have just racks of these. So when we set out to go build some new building, we can kind of pick some unique blocks and come up with something creative. On the copper front too, actually in the copper mine I mentioned, or the copper factory I mentioned, doing the pipes and the wires, since we can use those. They're just as good as the steel ones, and there are no steel wires or aluminum wires or anything. Talking about automating those and having storage for them. There's also some materials I've been using as decorative items or construction materials. These copper beams, we could automate those. I was thinking about using what was that, copper here somewhere. Yeah, this copper casing we could automate as a building material and just have it stored up. We've got these copper corners. So we got plenty to do. What I want to do now for the rest of this episode, so that's kind of the lay of the land of what's been going on. We need to gradually keep expanding this power plant. And I'm going to do some of that this episode. Then we need to clean up the electrification of our copper factory here too, underneath, and get all of those mining drills going, and then maybe beef up the smelting. We'll probably spend a couple episodes just doing that between these two factories, scaling up power production, filling this thing out, and getting that thing electrified, closing off this building, and finishing the smelting, and then anything we want to automate, pipes, wire, copper beams, aesthetic kind of materials. Maybe see if we can't set up like a mini mall of copper products in there. But let's start here. Looks like I've got plenty of coal. I think what I want to do is ramp up this area with another setup just like this. Let's make a couple of these steel ovens. In fact, we could probably make more than a couple. Starting to produce some steel, which is nice. Let's see. Where are you? There they are. Steel ovens. Let's make 2, 3, 4. Those take stone too. Burn through all my steel? No, but I did burn through a lot of stone. I think what we'll do here is just mirror image this. This belt's going to come out. We'll move it back. In fact, we can do that while we're waiting. This out. Another thing we can get in the crafting queue. Seem to have a decent amount of steel. Get at least 10 more belts. 15 more belts. Fan out this way. Now I'm thinking about it. Debating whether to have these things kind of little grate be facing each other, since that's how these are mirror image. Let's do it. Those, where are you? There, boom, right there. I have the grate, if I can find it. Yeah, that one. There. You're not gonna go because of everything else in the way. There it goes. Boom. That's what we want. We'll keep an eye on that and make sure everything kind of hooked back up. Then we need to put more ovens down. Guys, what? Ink. One more, yeah. That. That. Get some more robotic arms, steel. It's kind of weird figuring out, when to automate robotic arms and belts, right? Because we're going to keep climbing these tiers. And then we're not going to want to use lower tiered belts and things. Yeah, once we go to aluminum tier, there's going to be a better conveyor for us, better robotic arms. So maybe we won't end up automating those. Initially, I was thinking we would. Oh, I gotta wait for things to craft, actually. Look. Yeah, I'm out of robotic arms. While we're waiting on that, I can expand this platform a little bit. Whoa. Remember when I said building takes a long time? Yeah, that's a big part of the reason why. Constantly falling. Kill time a little bit longer here and take all this out. We don't need this. We'll figure out that later. This wire is... That wire is actually needed. It should probably run along the wall. So let's see about doing that here. Just doing Q to select the material. Something like this, that. Looks a little better down here. All right, get back up to where we're making the coke. That, you can go there, there. Whoops. And you can go there. We need pipes and pumps. Get a couple more of those made. Steel tier is probably overkill on this, but I'm just sticking with steel. Because there's very little, oh, that creosote stuff that comes out of here. Where are you, pumps? Right there. Boom, boom. Get a few of those queued up. So we have them on hand. Bell comes across. Temporarily, I'm just sending it around this way. But as we scale up, I'm going to have to keep moving this section here. So, am I still waiting on crafting? I'm still waiting on crafting. It looks like we're getting our last robotic arm. Here come the pumps. What I'm waiting on. Boom. Boom. Everything's piped up, so that should be just fine. We doubled that up. What I don't know, whoops, what I don't know is how much to really scale this up. So we've got our supply of coal that's coming up. Right, this is all going to get scaled up as well. In fact, let's do a couple more motors. These guys, electric engines. Let's do 5 of these. I know we're going to need a bunch. Looking for those to craft. We'll get a couple more mining drills going too, or get those queued up at least. And I'm burning through my steel. These guys on. Boom and boom. We doubled up down here. We threw more motors on the coal miners, or gave them more power. This guy is kind of maxed out, so we need another couple of these guys too, if we can do it. Generator. Ooh, I think I actually have a generator in inventory. do. I need turbine. Where are you? This guy. Boom. Just about all the steel I've got. I'm gonna have to go fetch more. Wait for that to craft. Maybe I can do another bit of this. Without falling off. Could probably do it easier from below. We'll see. And I'll do most of this between episodes, try and get these platforms built. Looks like we get a decent amount of coke. Do I have any more steel ovens? Furnaces. Yeah, I've got one. We can pop that guy down. A lot of robotic arms already. Oh, man. Just craft all those. Our generator down. Maybe space these out a bit. Wire, looks like I need a bunch more wire I gotta make too. I've got copper on me. Let's do it. That we can make like 50. Turbine's ready. Let's drop that guy in. This guy some steam. Gauge where it comes down, but I think it's here. Boom, so that guy's spinning up. And now I need to get this electricity onto the main. Have wire? I do. Now we should see that guy start spinning. I like it. Gotta build this platform out for sure. Over here, we need, yeah, let's see, did we get our robotic arms yet? Good. Pipe, I got a bunch of this just from tearing out the heat pipe that was under our copper factory. Got tons of high pressure hot steam right now. They're all registering high. This guy... Right now, our energy... It says energy consumption 6, production is 5.4. That seems kind of weird, right? It seems like we would be producing more at this point after adding a whole another setup. Especially assuming we have tons of steam here. Could throw another boiler on and see if that changes things. 6%. Let's do it. Let's pop another boiler onto the mix here. Do I have one on me? I don't. Make one I can. Just that's the last thing. We're gonna have to go fetch more steel. Got more coke coming, which is good. More coke than we can use. There's our little boiler. We'll just pop this guy in there. Plenty of heat. Should have plenty of water. I don't imagine there's a limit on the water, but I don't know for sure. Awesome. So that's scaled up at least a little. Let's go do the copper plant underneath. That finished up. How do I even get under here? I'm trying not to dig a bunch that I have to refill and have it look kind of not so great. All this goes. These are all copper tier inserters that I don't think I have much use for. You can always deconstruct them and get the raw copper back out. Let's see. A very low priority task. Fill in that block. Fill in that block. Let's get rid of all this for now. At least the stuff that's outside of the perimeter of our building. This can all go. See, the water is so close underneath the surface. I wish that was not the case. Really wish we could do more stuff underground. Just envisioned like a lighted kind of subway with belts going between the buildings underground with like a walking area next to the belts. That would have been cool, but I can't do it without it being underwater. None of that is necessary. I have some dirt. Use this. Can we get rid of this? This mess here. Kind of an eyesore. It's meant to be temporary. I'll show you one other thing I didn't show you over at the power plant. You have some of that coke being stored off. Still having to manually feed our steel production. Some over here. I don't know that I'm getting a lot. 282. That's pretty good. Let's rely on this. Basically, I just threw another inserter here. So basically, half of the coke that's produced out of this steel oven just going into storage so I can use it. In fact, I'll just grab all of that out of there too. Let's get rid of that coal platform. Oh, and I mentioned I have some dirt. Grab some of that. Save some dirt, I think, over here. Look at my inventory. Got all that coke. Let's go drop the coke off at the steel place. Temporary steel platform. That's straight ahead. That furnace there looks pretty sweet. Drop this off in here. Boom. I've got coal on me too, and I think this area needs coal. So let's give this guy the coal. We'll go next door and just clear out this whole platform can go. If we need any of this. We're going to end up getting a bunch of coal. In fact, let's take the mining drill out first. Got coal here. I'm going to need to move. I'm just going to manually run this over. To these storage boxes for now. This is just fueling the iron mining drill. Again, these lower tier belts, they're not, super useful to me anymore if we try and stick with the steel tier. I don't even know what's in these. Nothing. We got a bunch more coal in this guy. Let's take it all. Huh? That computer can go. What am I missing? Oh, I guess that was it. Thought we had more coal to grab. This stuff. Developer did make a change recently where when you deconstruct things, it automatically goes in your inventory. It used to drop on the ground, which is kind of a pain. But this is a lot better. I like it. How's inventory doing? Did I lose anything there? Might have. Got a bunch of coal. Get that out of inventory so I don't risk losing things. This one is running the little smelting furnace, so we'll dump the coal in there. inventory's full again. Go get rid of it. All the coal. That furnace right there, that steel furnace, liquid furnace, that will be useful to us. So will that pump. Rid of the computer for now. How's inventory? Do I have enough to take this coke? I don't think I do. Let's dump some of this stuff off at the copper factory. Some of these extra parts, let's just dump them off. And we'll either kind of recycle those, deconstruct them. We'll just keep them around. But right now, this is kind of my little messy area. I'm looking for copper boxes. Boom, boom, boom. For the belts. Heat pipe I am going to need, but I don't need this many stacks. This is for decoration. Maybe I can come back and do that later. Scaffolds. And for the other things. Where were those little guys? I'm looking for the copper sheeting. It's up here, copper casings. For those. Beams. Lights I'm going to hold on to. Pipes, obviously, I'm going to hold on to. These inserters I don't think I need. I'll hold on to a stack of them, maybe. Really need those in inventory. Same thing with these Stirling engines. I'll throw some of those out. For smelters, I might use those just for temporary things. Blocks we could probably get rid of. I'm going to put those here at the building materials. And what else? Stone chest. Probably never gonna use those. It'll do. Stone furnace don't need. Smelters don't need. Alright, that's all good for that. Let's go back underneath. Or let's finish, did I finish getting rid of that coal platform? Finish that. We're gonna grab coke off of here. We can run that over to the steel plant. Boom. Go, you can go, and this whole platform can go. All right, it's like it never happened. Let's clean up this big pit of despair here. Like I said, if we got dirt, let's go grab it. We've got room in inventory. Kind of save this up from digging in the past. I'm going to grab all of it. I'll see if we can't make that look a little better over there. This, I don't know what to do. If I extend the building down or just fill it in with dirt, it might look better filled in with dirt. But what I first want to do is get rid of this blight, because this looks horrible. Not going to look great. I've already kind of scarred the land here, but it'll look a little better than it did, I hope. All right, that's that's not great, but it's a little better. It's a little better. I'll have to play with it between episodes. At least it's not a big gash in the terrain here is the terraforming tools are limited unless I just don't know how to use them well. That's gone. That's why I don't want to build a bunch more temporary things if I can help it. This area we may, yeah, we'll figure this out. But let's do some more real work here. I want to get this wired up. Incidentally, did I grab steel? Did not. Let's do that. I want to free up inventory, grab up steel. I want to start making some electric or steel engines while we're doing some of this other teardown work. I'm going to drop my soil off here. Boink. Get over to our little temporary steel platform. This is going to go 2. And hopefully it won't leave quite as much of a scar. Do I have regular coal in here? A tiny bit. Pop that there for the mining drill, and I'll pop all of this coke there. And I'm going to grab the steel. I'm going to start crafting some motors out of this. At least a few. 8, I would say. Let's do 10, 5, 10 electric engines. We're going to use those to power the copper mining drills above. This mess out of the way. And we're going to need to run wires. Dead. That row is already hooked up. I'm going to take stuff out. At least a little bit of it. See it? That row we're going to do, and this row. Do we need all this copper production? I have no idea. Do not know. Gonna need all this or not. Let's grab wire. I need to make some more of that. I've got a bunch of copper ingots. Yeah, I'm gonna need more wire. Boy, I thought I made 100 already. Let's do it. Let's do 100 more wire. In fact, we could probably do 150 wire. Okay, that is almost that row. Must not have had it crafted yet. Why these segments didn't build. And let's make sure we actually hook up to the main. It looks like we did. That row's done. I'll probably figure out a way to get some lights down here. Maybe put them on the floor. Like I said, I can't go much deeper without being in the water. Crazy about doing. Hooked up. Okay, that row's hooked up. And then this is that temporary row where we were doing the the smelting of copper just for building purposes. I don't know if this is going to stay or not. For now, we'll just leave it there. Make sure these guys are all hooked up to the main. Looks like it. That's electricity coming from the power plant. And I need to put stairway going down there and clean this up, make it look nice. I'll do, maybe try and do some of that between episodes. We're still kicking out copper. That's all being kicked out using power from our little power plant there. So that's kind of cool to see. Okay, now this we got to clean up. These guys are running one motor each, or one electric engine each. We'll eventually scale that up to 3. I'm still going to probably keep these on the copper tier just to do it. The copper mining factory. Maybe we'll scale up. We find that we have a deficit, but I'm not going to bother upgrading it. We absolutely need to. I do want to convert over to electric. All right, power cable. And our steel engines. 13 of these now, which is awesome. Yeah, that's the way we want them. I do love the way the Stirling engines look, and I love the way the heat pipes look. But I do, for this playthrough, want to try and specialize in electricity for pretty much everything. And we'll generate heat or kinetic energy from electricity where we need to. All right, our cables, you. And motors or engines, where are you? Why am I not seeing you? You're in front of my face, I'm sure. Where are they? Up top here, okay. Blink. Blink. Not there. That place somewhere weird. I heard a click as if that engine was placed, but I don't see it. These guys should be all in good shape. We might not be generating enough electricity to run all these things. Consumption 1.1, production 1. Not sure what that's all about. It's hooked up to the same network as our power plants. I'm not sure how to read those numbers or what they're trying to tell me. Go up. I think I have an extra. Let's see, no, I don't. We need. Got plenty of ore. Let's extend this line a bit while we're here. See if I can remember what I'm doing. Or if there's a better way to do it. I think we need to stay elevated. Because these electric furnaces, their heat output port is on top. I'll be fine, but we can extend this out. Do it. Boink, 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 boink. At least that far, right? I don't have furnaces, though. I don't think I have any extras. Let's make some of those. Electric furnaces. Where are you? Right there. Steel electric furnaces. These take stone and copper. Got the copper. I'm short on stone. Let's make what we can. And I'm going to go run across and get stone while those are crafting. Yee! This is pathetic over here. In fact, this guy doesn't have any fuel at all. Oh man, yeah, I gotta automate this, but I do have a little supply of stone here. I'll take stack. Let's take all of it and send one stack back, I guess. While I'm here, I'll grab this. I really need to get fuel in here, like desperately. But let's make use of that rock. We'll get some more electric furnaces going. Maybe at least 5 more. Yeah, once I can get the building materials automated, we're already in the path of being able to quickly scale up our electricity. And then once we can get that steel factory going, that should make it a little easier for us to keep progressing without having to go back and forth between the buildings like this constantly. Fire these guys up. Boom. I need little smelters. Do I need 1, 2, 3, at least 4? 5 of those. Bunch more inserters too. I should get those crafting. Man, robotic arms. Burning through the steel so fast. Let's do, I need at least 8. 5, 7, 8 of those. Is this a copper belt? Yeah, I got copper conveyors here. That's fine. And I guess I can use the copper inserters here too. And I'm using copper smelters. Maybe we stick with those. Do I have any of those? Maybe we stick with the copper on this factory. Boom, boom, boom. Kind of makes sense. I've got copper robotic arms I saved. Boom, boom. Maybe we will make use of these. At least over here. For belts. Got rid of those, thinking I wasn't going to use them anymore. Was wrong. Grab them. Where are you? Here. Boom. Don't want stone. We'll see on the Stirling engines. I don't think I need those. All right, let's see what happens here. Looks like these guys are kind of firing up into action. Yep, smelting up copper here. So yeah, we're kind of intentionally going to go with lower tier here. Stick with the copper tier for the copper factory. And I'll extend this out, and then we'll have multiple lines. In fact, could be that one row of mining drills can really support a ton of these rows. So we may take this deposit and maybe the other one here, this one, every other one. Send those up a floor. Smelt on that floor too. Maybe this belt of copper ore coming up from those mining drills. Maybe this will snake around a bit. We'll see. I'm not sure how much copper we're actually going to need. I'm guessing we're always going to need it for the circuits. So we'll see. This can scale up quite significantly. We only have one steel, or one, what are these? Steel engine on each mining drill. This can go up to 3, right? We can really, really ramp this up. But I think what we'll do is end this episode here. Between episodes, I'm going to do what? Probably not a lot. Might build out these platforms a little bit so we can scale easier. And then I may start building a big platform for our new building materials factory. What else? What else? We're going to keep chewing away at circuits over there. We need to figure out what we're going to do for electricity on the circuits factory. Right now, like I said, we're burning planks. It's kind of a joke. I don't like it. I don't like how that's set up right now. So we'll either experiment with having that building power itself by growing some trees on the roof, converting those trees into heat and electricity and powering the build, seeing if we can power that whole building on its own, just with its own wood production. Or we'll run this our power main over to that building and power it. Either way, we have some work to do over there. This, obviously, this hideous structure needs to be expanded. I need to figure out where the coal's going to end. But this thing is going to be huge. At least that's my intention, is to make this thing huge. So yeah, that's it for this episode. For now, this is Glidercat saying thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this series on Evospace. Kind of a different kind of playthrough. I'm not racing through the tech tree. Just looking to build some cool factories. I'm not super duper concerned about hitting perfectly efficient ratios. Basically looking just to build for fun and try to build for over capacity and end up with some cool looking factories. That's the goal. Hope you enjoy it. I want to thank Glidercat patrons and channel members as always for their support of the channel. So it makes this content possible. Deeply, deeply appreciate that support. And with that, I'll see you all in the next episode.